You have to worry about what to do in a short time.
December 3rd, 2025. A geophysicist has uncovered something about 3I Atlas that NASA has not mentioned publicly. And in just 4 months, Earth moves straight through the cloud of material this object released. This is not a routine comet transit. Not even close. The OSIRIS-REx mission has now verified that asteroids contain every essential ingredient for life: amino acids, precursors to DNA, water-bearing minerals, the whole biochemical toolkit. But 3I Atlas, it carries all of those ingredients in greater abundance. And from an entirely different star system. It has just undergone a planet-wide eruption, expelling those VUNs into space. And we're about to fly directly into that debris. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you fundamentally reshapes what we thought we understood about the origins of biology. Subscribe, because in 4 months, Earth moves straight through the material 3I Atlas expelled during perihelion, and the implications reach far beyond astronomy. Let's start with what we know with absolute certainty. 3I Atlas entered our solar system from deep, cold interstellar space. Trajectory reconstructions using Gaia star catalog data show it hasn't passed near a star in at least 10 million years. That's roughly 500 parsecs of motion retraced backwards without a single stellar encounter. For 10 million years or more, possibly billions, this object drifted silently between stars. During that time, it gathered material, volatile ices, dark organic matter, interstellar dust grains. The same loose debris that drifts in the void slowly fused to its surface layer by layer, and all the while cosmic rays bombarded it, not just damaging the material, transforming it. High-energy particles create complex molecules in the dark, building chemistry no star has touched in eons. Then, on July 1st, 2025, we detected it already inside our solar system, already warming. At 2.5 AU from the Sun, near the asteroid belt, something abrupt occurred. On September 7th, the object brightened by 2 full magnitudes. Not gradually, not along a predictable curve, instantly. That is not standard comet behavior. Typical comets brighten smoothly as the Sun heats their volatile ices. You get a stable upward slope. 3I Atlas did not follow that curve. It jumped, and the brightness stayed elevated all the way to perihelion on October. That signals a complete state transition, not a local outburst, a planet-wide activation. Here is what the evidence strongly points to. At 2.5 AU, 3I Atlas absorbed enough sunlight to allow liquid water to briefly exist on its surface. Not vapor, not sublimating froth, actual transient liquid water. The crust, accumulated over millions of years drifting between stars, reached a thermal tipping point. It didn't warm gradually, it destabilized catastrophically. The entire object erupted. Cryovolcanism, but on a global scale. Instead of lava, violent plumes of water vapor, frozen gases, and organic-rich slurry blasted into space. Not from isolated vents, but from nearly the entire surface. Its 16-hour rotation distributes heat fairly evenly, so the activation swept across all longitudes almost simultaneously. Post-perihelion photographs from amateur observers reveal multiple jets stretching over 50,000 kilometers from the nucleus. That is enormous. That is intense, sustained worldwide activity. And the chemistry is unusual. CO2 is high. CO is high. Water abundance is lower than in typical solar system comets. Nickel content is heavy. This is not pristine water ice. This is processed material, oxidized volatiles, metallic catalysts. And when sunlight heats mixtures of water, carbon compounds, iron, and nickel, a well-known reaction begins. Fischer-Tropsch chemistry, the same process humans use industrially to manufacture hydrocarbons from carbon monoxide and hydrogen, except here it's happening naturally. Nickel-iron grains act as catalysts. Solar heat drives the reactions, and the result? Amino acids, nucleotide precursors, simple sugars, the very molecules biology requires. Now here's why this matters right now. In December 2025, OSIRIS-REx published new results. Their analysis of asteroid Bennu, a B-type relatively processed object, revealed 14 essential amino acids, 33 amino acids total. Glucose, the sugar backbone of RNA, all 5 DNA RNA nucleotides, water trapped in mineral veins, and Bennu is poorer in organics than the most primitive carbon-rich object. 3I Atlas, based on spectroscopy, resembles CR-type carbonaceous chondrites, the rarest, most primitive, most heavily organic enriched meteorites known. These are richer than Bennu's class, less processed, more chemically exactly the type expected to carry the densest concentration of prebiotic compounds. If Bennu, an object exposed to more sunlight and altered by time, contains the full suite of life's ingredients, what is 3I Atlas carrying? Almost certainly more, higher concentration, perhaps molecular structures we haven't classified, chemistry shaped under foreign stellar conditions, and it has just hurled those materials into space. There's another critical detail. When nickel-iron minerals react with liquid water, they form magnetite Fe3O4, the strongest naturally magnetic mineral. This is not theoretical, it's standard geochemistry. We find magnetite in carbonaceous meteorites that have undergone aqueous alteration. 3I Atlas contains high nickel, high iron, confirmed water, and solar heating, vigorous enough to trigger these reactions, which means magnetite is likely forming across its surface right now. Magnetite generates localized magnetic fields. On Earth, large deposits produce measurable anomalies. On Mars, ancient magnetite indicates its crust once interacted with liquid water. For 3I Atlas, this means one thing: it is building its own magnetic field, not just the temporary induced plasma envelope from the solar wind, an intrinsic field created by magnetic minerals forming within the crust and possibly deeper layers. Why does that matter? Because magnetic fields protect chemistry. Cosmic rays destroy molecular bonds. They shred DNA. They erase complexity. Life on Earth survives because our magnetic field shields the surface. 3I Atlas appears to be generating a natural radiation buffer, not as strong as Earth's, not even close, but potentially tens to hundreds of nanotesla, enough to reduce radiation damage, enough to preserve fragile molecular structures, enough to create protected microenvironments where chemistry can persist. In other words, as 3I Atlas erupts, processes and transforms its own material, it is simultaneously constructing the magnetic shelter needed to preserve it. Now let's talk about what comes next. December 19th, 3I Atlas reaches its closest approach to Earth, roughly 1.8 astronomical units away. Not close in the dramatic sense, but closer than at any point since we first detected it. And here's where things get even stranger. The sun-facing jet, the anti-tail that shouldn't exist under standard comet physics, is still active, still lengthening, still intensifying, all while the main tail dims and the object's overall brightness decreases post-perihelion. Material is still being released, still being fed into the spreading debris stream. And this leads us to the critical window, March to April. During this period, Earth's orbit will slice directly through the region where 3I Atlas was at perihelion, the exact zone where it unleashed its most violent activity, where it generated 50,000-kilometer jets, where its crust ruptured and began flooding the inner solar system with organic-rich ejecta. We are going to pass through that debris field, not through 3I Atlas itself. That would produce a meteor storm, but close enough that the more widely dispersed particles, the dust pushed outward by solar pressure and orbital mechanics, may intersect our atmosphere. And what's inside that drifting material? If the comparison to Bennu holds, if the chemistry matches what its spectral signature suggests, then the particles raining toward Earth could include amino acids, nucleotides, complex carbon chains, organic ices, water-bearing minerals, metallic catalyst dust, and prebiotic compounds from another star system. This is where hard science steps into philosophy. Panspermia, the idea that life's ingredients, or even life itself, travel between worlds via comets, asteroids, and interstellar debris, isn't fringe. It is a legitimate scientific model supported by decades of evidence. We already know organic molecules survive the vacuum of space. They survive atmospheric entry. Meteorites deliver them to planetary surfaces intact. What we don't know is the threshold. How much incoming organic material does it take to seed a planet? How many interstellar deliveries are needed to push chemistry toward biology? And this is why 3I Atlas is completely unprecedented. We are watching an interstellar object, loaded with organics, actively processing materials, ejecting those compounds directly into a stream Earth will soon intersect. This is a live, real-time test of how chemical exchange between star systems might work. Because unlike Oumuamua and Borisov, which passed silently and faintly, 3I Atlas is huge, active, spectroscopically rich and perfectly positioned for observation. We're collecting light curves, composition signatures, outflow data, and structural imaging. And the timing couldn't be more remarkable. Just as OSIRIS-REx confirmed that even processed asteroids in our system contain every building block for life, we now have an interstellar counterpart that's far less processed, far more pristine, and dramatically more active. If Bennu represents the minimum, 3I Atlas might represent the maximum. Maximum concentration, maximum chemical complexity, maximum potential for prebiotic synthesis. And Earth is about to sample its leftovers, passively, simply by moving through space. We don't need a mission, we are the mission. The atmosphere becomes the detector, meteor networks become the collection grid, and whatever survives entry becomes the sample. But here's the frustrating part. NASA held a press briefing. Pretty images, carefully curated observations, standard unusual but natural comet narrative. No mention of the Bennu results. No mention of the panspermia implication. No mention that 3I Atlas is chemically aligned with the rarest, most organic-rich meteorite classes, and erupting those materials across the inner solar system. Independent researchers, however, have no such restrictions. They are connecting the dots: global cryovolcanism, magnetite production, organic synthesis conditions, interstellar chemical enrichment, debris trajectory, timing, and an unprecedented observational opportunity, all pointing toward one conclusion. We're witnessing an event that only happens once per generation, maybe once per century, with direct implications for astrobiology, planetary evolution, and the chemical history of our galaxy. And the official story is, nice com. So here's the actual picture. 3I Atlas is an ancient interstellar wanderer, likely 3 to 11 billion years old, untouched by stellar heat for at least 10 million years. During that journey, it accumulated layers of ices, organics, and dust in the cold darkness of interstellar space. When it entered the solar system, it warmed, ruptured, and erupted globally. Its jets contain water carbon-rich compounds, nitrogen species, metallic particles, magnetite-forming minerals. Its chemistry resembles the most primitive meteorites known, only richer, only dense, only more pristine. And now in March-April 2026, Earth will drift through the zone where all of that material was released. We will sample interstellar chemistry for the first time in history, not with a probe but with our planet. Whether what falls contains advanced organics, whether it includes molecules unknown on Earth, whether it interacts with our atmosphere or biosphere in any measurable way, we simply don't know yet. But the fact that no major agency is addressing these possibilities, that no one is preparing the public for what we may detect, represents the real gap in the narrative. So here's the truth. December 19th, closest approach, March-April, debris field intersection, data incoming, unfiltered, independent, inevitable. Whatever 3I Atlas is, comet, seed, chemistry engine, interstellar archive. It's giving us a real-time demonstration of how star systems exchange the ingredients for life. Whether life is unique to Earth, or common across the galaxy, whether panspermia is rare or fundamental, whether interstellar objects are passive travelers or active chemical factories, we are about to find out. Stay curious, keep watching, and remember, the most important discoveries often begin with the questions no one else wants to ask.